see it. It's live.
Right.
It's come up on my side now.
Here we
Fantastic.
go. Sorry about the delay. A little bit of teething problems. It's lastminute.com, as you know. Welcome to SARCO's live stream. It's Alan Patterson here in the booth, joined by Dylan himself, who had a little emergency today. But we're good. We're live. And as you can see on the screen, we already have some times up. Sean Loureiro putting in a 144.817. Top four, all within 8/10. Dylan, how are you?
Let's just say it's been a whirlwind of a day between what's happening at work, between the emergency call from my wife, who's currently in the UK. She hasn't been out of the country for more than 24 hours, and the school's phoning me because my son took a soccer ball to the wrist and a little visit to the emergency room.
Well, I hope he's good, buddy, and hope there's no serious injury, because I know there's a big race coming this weekend.
Yes, he is racing on Sunday, so I did make a little joke to him and say, when you see the doctor, just tell the doctor that your father says all you need is a teaspoon of PPC. She did find that funny.
PPC. Quick solution there, right there, man. Okay, we are currently watching Mr. Farrell in his Ferrari for Alpha 1 Esports, and we'll see where he comes up on the timing screens. 3/4 of the field in, as you can see. It's one flying lap this evening here at Watkins Glen, and definitely a challenging track. A lot of undulations, a rhythm track that you have to nail. One corner leads to the next corner with two decent straights. I think we're going to see some exciting racing this evening.
And I say in our test stream, and that was when we thought that the stream was up, but it wasn't. We had mentioned that there are some overtaking opportunities, generally into turn number 1, going down the back of the boot, back up the hill. There is opportunity there, but generally once you've gone through the bus stop there, known as the inner loop, it's pretty much single file through there. You can have a little dive here and there, but getting that rhythm, most definitely. It is all about finding that rhythm, getting those good lap times in, and keeping your opponent behind you. Especially now coming back up the hill now towards turn number 9. If you get that good exit out of 8 going back up the hill, it is so difficult for the driver behind to try and overtake.
Yeah, look, definitely. You've got to really have your A game here for this track. Mistakes will cost you positions if guys are following close by. We only have these two still on track, but we have a couple of big names already in the pits with no times, including Muat Musa and Isham Dominguez. So I don't know if they took my word for it in the driver's briefing about starting from last, but we're going to see some exciting racing if they're coming from the back. And Aiden Russell puts it up into 3rd place. He's only 2/10 of Ron Heineke, who currently is the quickest man, a 144.752. Let's try and catch up with David Farrell. Here he comes.
And look, that time from Ron, I know he's done a lot of time here. This is one of his favorite tracks, and definitely it does show with him getting at the top there. David Farrell puts it into 6th.
Good result there. Anything up there in the top 10, you're in for a good run. And that is it as far as quali goes. We're going to just wait a few seconds. It's an ideal time to mention our primary sponsors here this evening: NAG, Game On, Geek Out, MSI, that make all our equipment run, and a couple of other sponsors. Dylan, give us some detail on them.
So we've got VA Auto. If you're looking to get your vehicle serviced and ready for the up and coming holiday season, get hold of VA Auto. They do specialize in Audi and VW. Just tell them we've sent you, and you will get a preferential rate. And every time I want to say that, it always reminds me of the John Robbie show with Khalix, and he says, Khalix, tell them I sent you. It's just something that just keeps ringing true, and that's exactly what it is. Get hold of Owen. We'll drop the details in the
Racing Lounge.
I'm reading messages as I'm trying to talk. Got some of the messages, but thank you. I'll drop it in the description. We'll get it updated, and they're there, as well as a Celtec tuning. The guys are coming, if you're looking for that additional performance out of your vehicle, get hold of them. They've got some really incredible software, and as well as our new providers of our practice servers.
Excellent. Yeah. A little bit of humor there. We are really lastminute.com for the stream. So thanks for joining us. I see the Macy Crafter on YouTube saying, how's it, Dylan? Hi, everyone. Look how good my brother Ruan is doing in the qualification. Whoop, whoop. So definitely, he is at the sharp end of the stick.
Oh, Lala, how's it?
I obviously need to still learn all of these names and nicknames and so on. So we'll get there. Right, short start. As you can see, they're 2 corners away from the main straight. We've got 1 minute 16 seconds give or take for the guys to make last changes, get the setups right. You see the Ferrari of Ruan Heineke on the front row of the grid. Next to him, Sean Derrero in the big thundering Mustang V8. Great sounding car. Aiden Russell also right there in the pink BMW, and next to him it's Chris Heineke. And he is racing for Bullet Racing. I think he's still associated with Slick Racing, but I think he's just doing some solo stuff for now. Other main contenders, we've got Jason Farmer, as you can see, and Jason Farmer in the Ferrari for Griffin Sim Racing 1. Next to him, David Farrell in the Alpha 1 Esports Ferrari in 6th place. Kara Pretorius, also for Griffin Sim Racing. There's a whole batch of them you can see. Next to him, teammate Ulrich de Jager. Reno Roberts down in 9th place, Alpha 1 Esports BMW fan. And then Terry Wolford getting into the top 10, also for Griffin Sim Racing. So that's the lineup with 10 seconds to go. I'm excited. Here we go. Watkins Glen. 75. Yeah.
Just look at that beautiful livery in first place.
Look at that.
Hashtag just saying.
Hashtag just saying. It's a SARCO teamwork here, and guys laying down some rubber as they get going. I saw that.
That's pretty impressive, the fact that Sean was able to do a massive wheel spin going off the line. Clearly that traction control is turned down nice and low. And one of the other big names down in 20th place is Isham Domingo.
Yep.
Isham Domingo currently 2nd overall in the championship.
And starting from the back row with his teammate Muat Musa.
The two Project Vapor cars definitely get their work cut out here this evening.
Right, we got our helicam. We're waiting for the green lights. It's about to get off. And we've got 75 minutes. There we go, green racing. And look at the BMW. Aiden Russell getting a jump and possibly on the inside of Sean Lourero's Mustang. Hard braking into T1. Oh, very good respect there as they go through T1. Looking a little bit further back, Chris Heineke. And he is hanging tough there in the very loosey-goosey Aston Martin. And they're side by side as they go up through the right, left, right, fast climb up to the bus stop. All looks good all through the first couple of corners.
No, absolutely fantastic. You can see the guys giving each other space. It's going to be single file through here. Hopefully there aren't any incidents further down. But so far so good. And it is now officially the proper racing, and we can see lots and lots of cars there. It looks like there is a yellow flag. Car number 17 seems to have had an off there and has tangled up. That looks like car number 9. We'll definitely see what happened there from the stewards later on, but currently back to the front, and it is full-blown racing with a move on the inside. It looks like it is Chris Heineke trying to get ahead of the pink. I almost said the pink Russell muscle.
Oh, that's got me creased. That's a good one.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, my word. Right, so Chris all over the back of Aiden's BMW and pushing like a man possessed as they come around for the first lap. And we're in. Chris gets a great line out of the final turn. And I think as we see cars peeling off already, so some pit strats coming into play already. But Chris is up the inside of Aiden. Aiden turning in, Chris holding on there, and Aiden closes the door and off they go back up the hill. now just behind David Farrell, looking up the inside of Chris, and they side by side as they come up the corner. I think Chris got onto the marbles there. They're still side by side. It's not. It's Jason Farmer, I beg your pardon.
I was going to say that Jason Farmer with David Farrell in the esports. Little touching. Jason is going to just have the brakes, slot in behind him, and get the wolf. Aiden is very, very tight over that curb, a little bit of dirt. But it looks like Sean and Ruan are side by side as Sean slots that car into first place, going into the boot.
Into the boot, down the hill they come. This is a hectic hairpin that they've got to negotiate, but the power of that V8 is shown. Nothing beats cubic inches, as they say in America, and the V6 Turbo Ferrari is struggling right now. But as you said, Sean Loureiro into the lead. Ruan Heineke, great first couple of laps, I must say. Guys have been hugely respectful with each other. And I think they realize as well, you know, you're not going to win the race in the first couple of laps. You've got to just settle in, get your groove on, and take it from there. A little bit further back, there's a big gap going back to Steenkamp, Danny Steenkamp in his Mustang. There must have been some little RGs going on. We'll check the replay systems just now to make sure they're working. Just behind them, look at this trio of cars coming through. This is Gabriel, so with Muat Musa in the BMW already into 10th place, with Isham Domingo right behind him. So here come the Project Vapor boys, and they're on a push.
They definitely want to get themselves into the action up front. David Farrell just going across and getting that purple lap. You can see Mohamed Musa getting that purple BMW on the inside of the McLaren, which now allows Isham possibly to go through. But the McLaren moves over, just cuts off that space, and Mohamed goes and opens that gap ever so slightly. Isham's going to try to go around the outside on board here, but is there going to be enough space here?
There's a bit of a touch. Super close as they're going to the bus stop, but Isham managing to hang on to that BMW 3 there, and around they go and heading down towards the boot section. Cars coming out the pits, as you see on the track map. Early pit stops, so strategies at play. 2 pit stops required here, but there's no compulsories on tyres. There is a fuel refill, so we're going to see a complete mixed bag. You won't know who's going to win this until the last couple of minutes. And right now, Isham up the inside of the McLaren of Gabriel, so he's holding tough on the outside as they head to this final sector now.
And this must be just so frustrating for Isham. He's just not able to get that power down. And while he's having a fight there, it is allowing Serpentine to close up that gap, followed by Agallis a little bit further back.
Indeed. Isham still looking and trying to get into the head of Gabriel, so showing the BMW in all the mirrors, but he's holding his racing line and defending very well. Muat on his way already, and up the road, as you can see, the purple BMW is already 1.5 seconds on the way. Jason Farmer into the pits for an early stop for one of his pit stops, but so far so good. We're going to go up to the front end. Ruan Heineke, currently the quickest man on track, although there's a bit of daylight between him and the Mustang. A little bit further back, Chris Heineke also looking this way and that way. I think he's got the Aston Martin set up a little bit better.
And as you say, that he goes very, very wide. Alan, I will be back.
No problem.
Just give me a moment.
You do your thing. Right, so 1 hour and 8 minutes to go. Guys have completed a couple of laps, and we're one thing to notice also, track temperature 31 degrees. So the guys are going to have to seriously consider whether they're going to get into other set of boots at their second pit stop, or it must be the second pit stop. I think this track is pretty abrasive, and it's going to take a gambling man to consider not doing that stop. We're going back to 10th place. Isham, let's get in the helicam. Alright, we caught him. He has managed to get through, and he's passed Gabriel in the McLaren. So Isham into 9th, Muat Musa up into 8th, and Muat now closing in on the back of Steenkamp's Mustang. So a drive from the back of the grid for the Project Vapor boys, and they're going to try and get as close as they can up to into the top 3, and it's all about points management and avoiding any unnecessary contact as well. Any kind of contact here will just slow you down. The cars are going to struggle, and it's all about keeping it clean as they get along. Dropping a little bit further back, Cara Pretorius in his Ferrari. We've got a whole train of Ferraris here, starting with Dion Fenter. He goes over the line. Jason Farmer out the pits. So he is, actually it's not. Cara Pretorius is the first essential net leader with the first pit stop under his belt. But right behind him, Jason Farber chasing him. Terry Wilford's also got one of his stops out the way. So he's also cycling here towards the back of the field for now, but it's all about pit strategies in this race, and we'll have to see what happens. Right, going back up to our leader, it's Sean Loureiro, again very comfortable in the Griffin Sim Racing team Ford Mustang. Comes out of that tough hairpin and now climbing up the hill, heading towards turn 8. Watkins Glen, we don't recall the proper corner names here, but you will get the idea, and you can see it on the track map as well. Sean Loureiro also about to close in on our last place position, which is the Mustang of Brandon DeSantis. I've got Fred Conradi sitting in the pits. No, it seems like he's had a disconnect, so he's the first man out. But going back up to Renault Roberts. Renault Roberts right behind Aiden Russell's Russell's pink muscle, the pink BMW of Aiden Russell, and Renault Henneke peels off into the pits from 3rd place. Excuse me. Right, back with you. Renault Roberts pushing hard. It's BMW versus BMW. Aiden Russell looking after his position on track. A little bit of a gap further back to Chris. I'm going down to Moat Musa. He is all over the back of Mr. Steenkamp's Mustang now. So I envisage we'll see a move happen shortly as they come through the bus stop. And the Mustang having to add a little bit of retardation through that corner, and Moat Musa having a massive slide right there. Wow, that could have been a very tender one. We're going to just look at that on replay, and he comes out a little bit of error wash, gets a huge left and right slide. So there you saw it on the replay, but he's still in control. Round the hairpin he goes, and the Mustang's looking very, at least the BMW is looking very loose, probably being affected by the dirty air. A little bit further back you can see a second and a half, it's Isham Domingo. So the Project Vapor boys are all over this, and heading up in towards the top 5. Jumping forward, Renault Roberts closing in on the back of Aiden Russell. We'll see if anybody's going to peel into the pits. We'll jump into our helicam. Very difficult pit entry. You've got to hug that last corner and stay on the inside of that line, but through they go. Sean Loureiro is still quickest man on the track with a 144.750. And if I scream down the timing, okay, Isham doing a 144.9, Moat 145.1, nobody else in the 144. Oh, I lie. Ruan Henneke, a 144.8. So, boys are putting some quick times down, and a lap gone. Moat Musa still behind the big Mustang. The BMW just has to hope for a good draft, basically, because that Mustang has so much horsepower. It is the latest and greatest flavor of the month as far as ACC goes. As Jason Farmer peels into the pits again. So this is Jason coming in with an hour to go on his second pit stop. As you see the Mustang breaking through there. And Moore closes in, and there's a very subtle tap. He backs out of it, and they both catch the cars. That could have been a very hairy moment. In fact, it was a hairy moment. But well done to all involved for holding on to the cars. It allows Isham to close right back up. And we're definitely in for a big race here. Down in 17th, Ulrich de Jager, who has had one of his pits done, is pushing behind Terry Wolford, and these two Ferraris also within a tenth of each other as they come along the long back straight and then head into this insane bus stop section. You don't take that corner for granted. You need to be spot on with your positioning, otherwise the car's just going to get airborne and you'll be meeting a tyre wall very shortly. Back we come to Moat Musa again, still getting frustrated. You can see the BMW quicker through a couple of parts of the track, but the Mustang just pulls down the straight. So Moat's going to have to rethink how he gets this pass done. And we're going to stay with this dice. This is the closest dice at the moment. Isham Domingo looking up the inside and trying to get into Moat's head. I'm sure they're on radio comms saying, don't worry, you go. Oh, giving each other a bit of space, and now they're side by side, so it looks like gloves are off here. The Project Vapor boys having a full-on dice. Oh my word, side by side they come up the hill. Isham Domingo definitely has the advantage. He will have the inside into the bus stop. Moat should break a little bit earlier and does, and lets Isham peel in. Moat follows him and through the bus stop they come nose to tail, and this is where Musa's BM is very quick and he's under the wing of his teammate. They're going to work as a team now to try and close in on that Mustang. Your lead is still Sean Loureiro, and he has a lot of daylight between him and David Farrell in second place. He's 4.3 seconds up the road. Aidan Russell hanging on to third, 3 seconds further back. Renault Roberts only half a second off the back of him, and Chris Heineke half a second off Renault Roberts. That's your top 5. Further down the field, Dion Fenter in his Ferrari, also Griffin Sim Racing, and he's looking at the back of Nkulu, who's running the sole AMG Mercedes GT3, and he's doing a great job as well. Relatively good mix and match of manufacturers here. 2 or 3 Ford Mustangs, a whole host of Ferrari, 1 sole Mercedes. As Moat Musa comes into the pits, they something with the Mustang. Moat's getting 1 stop out the way now, and he idles along and comes to a stop in pit lane. We'll go back and see how Isham's doing, and on point, right under the wing of this Mustang. Poor old Danny Steenkamp's pretty much a chameleon right now. One eye looking forward, one eye looking at the mirrors. BMW looking really planted as he comes through the stop. And doing exactly what Moat was doing earlier. He is all over the Mustang through there. The Mustang having to do a lot of retardation. And right now, Isham's going to get a good drive coming down the hill towards the hairpin. Mustang running defensive up the middle of the track, and Isham's got nothing he can do about that. So, he's attempting around the outside. Now he's going to hopefully, no, he's not going to cut back. Okay, up the hill we go, and excellent racing by everyone involved. Weather's perfect here at Watkins Glen, as you can see, balmy 31 degrees Celsius, and just under an hour left. A couple of guys, Jason Farmer being your net leader now with both pit stops out the way. He's going to run that car from now until the end of the race, currently 19th place. So let's take a mental note of where Jason ends up later on in this race, because this is a long haul. He's got himself right out of the traffic. We'll go and catch up with him. Here he is, hammering through the bus stop. Ferrari looking planted through there, I must say. Very, very stable, very settled. And we'll monitor his times closely.
And I'm back.
And the man is back. Here he is. Chris Heineke. 3:10 still off the back of Aidan Russell. So he is definitely closing in. And behind him, it's Renault Roberts in the lime green BMW also coming along. Chris showing a heck of a lot of damage in the front of the Aston Martin. So although he's still in the top 5, I think he's either had a coming, no, it's also on the side, so I think he's come off somewhere and he's slid along a wall. This happened a while back, so I'm not even going to attempt this with the replay. But Castle looks good and he's maintaining a good pace, so we'll monitor his progress as he goes along. Sheldon O'Dulles, I don't know why I was trying to say Sean, it's Sean Herrera, but Sheldon also in the pits getting one of his stops out the way. So currently net leader, I have to say, and quickest man on track now, Ruan Haneke, ladies and gents. Ruan Haneke doing a 44.717, slightly quicker than Sean Loureiro, and pushing like heck in that very nice liveried SARCO liveried Ferrari car.
Thanks for noticing.
You're welcome.
Quite interesting enough is I saw Jason Farmer did have quite an early pit stop. The fact that he's decided to go and hit a double pit stop now,
yes,
running that car till the end,
yes,
it's almost assuming that he's decided no tires, enough fuel, run it to the end. So I think he might have just played his hand a little bit too early. Seeing the Ruan Haneke getting out of the squabbles out in front with one pit stop under his belt. Quite interestingly enough, because he's still fighting with Carol Pretorius, who's behind him, and Mohat Musa behind the two of them. So Mohat still has a little bit of work to do there. The fight that Isham is currently having with Dani Steenkamp, I think, is currently hurting them both.
I agree.
Slowing down, and for them to be moving up the order, battling it out, considering the guys that are ranked higher than them. They've gone and pitted to open up that track, and they definitely need to be closing up as there's a move to the inside. Donny goes a little bit wide. Isham sees the opportunity and he takes it with open hands.
That's exactly what we said at the start of the stream. If you get off a racing line or you take a curb a little bit too heavily, you're going to get off the racing line. You'll end up in the marbles, and that's what happened. The big Mustang running wide outside of the on the exit of the bus stop. Isham was on his racing line and jumped at the opportunity. He should now, or unfortunately, he's going to have to defend like he's never defended before. You can see the Mustang all over the back of him, but Isham knows exactly where to position that car. But yeah, Jason Farmer, I don't know. I mean, I think we're assuming he hasn't done a tire stop, but all the pit stops are done. So it's essentially a stint and a bit on one pair of tires. But with this temperature, and if he gets involved in some heavy racing, I think he might hurt himself with the tire degradation as the race goes along.
Look, and the fact that he isn't really fighting anybody yet, Jason Farmer is still 11 seconds behind Agallis, is that he's able to drive the car smartly. He's not fighting, he's not going to be sliding the car. Drive it smartly, save the tires. There's a big slide there from Donny as he exits out of turn number 1. And Farmer might actually allow this race to come back to him, knowing that he was fighting within that Russell and Roberts position, those Russell and Roberts positions.
Yeah. On board now with the Mustang, and you can see how it just pulls up alongside of Isham's BM, who's running defensive at the middle of the back straight. He enters the bus stop, the Mustang having to take it a little bit more cautiously, and here's where he brakes in this corner, and Isham didn't touch the brakes. It's pure coast and car handling, and there's a little bit of daylight between the two of them. Isham now starting to slowly but surely break away. Quickest man now on the track, it's Mr. Mohat Musa himself in the BM. He has done a 144.660, and he's pushing. He went in for an early stop because he was being held up behind the two that we were just watching. So he's running in open air, and he's just going to push like a madman possessed right now.
So the time we're all going to be watching is at 7 seconds between himself and Chris Haneke, who's ahead. Then there is 2 seconds between Chris and Dion Fento, who still needs to stop. Carol Pretorius is a little bit further up, but it's Ruan Haneke who's now, you can see, starting to carve through that field. He's now up to 9th place overall, having pitted once, and now 2 seconds behind Gabriel Sir.
Yep. Carol Pretorius in the Ferrari getting past Nkulu in the big Mercedes AMG. And making hay while the sun shines, as they say. Looking to see where the closest dices are. We've still got Dani Steenkamp, who's trying to hang on to Isham, but you can see that gap now growing as Isham is nailing every corner, every apex, and is dead on the racing line. ADB on the YouTube, keep pushing everyone, saying nice. Thanks for joining us, and hope you're enjoying the stream.
Mr. Emoji himself. So Adi was actually in the comms box with me last season. Adi, lekker to have had you with us, man.
Chris doing a send up the inside of Fenter's Ferrari and just floats by. Fenter obviously realizing that Chris is running a quicker pace, also got one of his pit stops done and dusted. It'll be interesting to see how late a lot of these guys take their stops. Is there a pit window on this?
No, we keep it open because it comes into that pure strategy. You want to pit on the first lap, by all means. You just have to have crossed the start-finish line, so you're already up to pace. It was more that if you're on a slow crawling lap and people peel into the wow, Chris was right there. I wonder if that had to do with the glitch. If you're on a slower lap and then you all of a sudden you peel off into the pits, then you're making up time. But the fact that the race would have started, everybody would have had to have gone around once already.
Yes.
It comes up to pure strategy.
Jan Fenter now arriving on the back of Nkulu's Mercedes-Benz. Nkulu showing some great respect and just gently moved out the way as the quicker Aston Martin came past earlier. So guys showing great respect for each other, and that's fantastic to see here at SARCO. The guys realize that it's all about the racing and being clean, consistent, and it's awesome to see, I must say.
Alan, can we just jump to 4th place there, please?
Sure, man. Renault Roberts. Here we go.
Roberts finding
Aiden.
Oh, behind, and how's that for timing?
That was great timing. You read it perfectly. Aiden ran through the second part of the bus stop too deep, trying to maintain the pace. Now looking to come back, sending it up the inside. There's a little bit of mirrors going missing, but takes that position back from Roberts.
Roberts did see him coming, just opened it up. So while they had a little bit of some window, some mirror trading, it wouldn't have upset any of the cars, and they're back to the racing. But what that does show is that Aiden is definitely feeling the pressure. Renault just needs to keep that car there, keep filling that rear view mirror and making Aiden uncomfortable, and that next opportunity is most definitely going to present itself.
Exactly. This game, besides the skill of driving and controlling the car, there's a whole mental game that's going on. It's about getting in your competitor's head. You do that by jumping out of the racing line and showing the nose of the car, making the driver ahead, unsure of what your next move's going to be. But all good, clean fun. There's been no real serious incidents that I've seen on track, except for that opening lap with the Ferrari earlier. But otherwise, pretty much awesome, good, fast racing as we see Renault Roberts now falling a little bit off the back of Aiden. So possibly the air wash may be affecting him, or he's decided just to back out of it a little bit. Aiden possibly hurt his tyres as Gabrielsen, the McLaren, peels off into the pits from 9th, and he's going to get one of his first stops done and out the way. The nice part about the double pit stop strat as well is Nkulu also into the pits. It helps you to remove yourself from traffic, and you can then pop yourself out from behind a bunch of cars, come out into some fresh air as Moord Musa's done, and take it on from there. And he's running in clear air, but he's going to be very shortly getting back into the top 10 as we watch Renault Roberts and the BM. Aiden running a little bit ragged as he comes out of that hairpin, and we get a stop go.
Penalty.
Oh my word, Gabriel, sir, that was a little bit too quick into the pits for sure.
And how you can do it is on the way in, or you just press that button just too soon on the way out.
That's it. You got to watch.
There are some hectic, and I say hectic, track cut limits here.
Yes.
Specifically here on the second last corner, if you run too wide, just going over the curb.
Yep.
That's where you can pick up those track cuts, and you find yourself having to visit the pit lane. Fortunately, the pit lane is not too long here at Watkins Glen, but it's definitely not something you want to be doing and wasting that additional 25 seconds or so.
Yeah, you've got to watch. T2, at least T1 this corner does have a little bit more forgiving going far out through T1, but the guys are pretty much on it. A couple of other places as well after the bus stop. that long right-hander that they're all coming towards now. You can also get a track cut quite easily there. But the stop go is definitely going to hurt Gabriel, so he'll be dropping down a good couple of positions. As these two still come through the bus stop nice and clean. Just a little bit further back, Dane Steenkamp in his BMW hanging on to them. But currently net leader as far as first pit stops go is Ruan Haneker. And Ruan lapping his last lap was a 145.1. His quickest 144.7.
So he's there and thereabouts. That's pretty rapid in terms of his average time. It is interesting as I'm just trying to see Farman. I thought that he would have been able to, get up the order a little bit quicker.
Me too.
I suppose only because the guys ahead have only pitted once, is we're not seeing him progressing as fast as the likes of those guys who have pitted once.
Yeah. Louis VDV on the YouTube, how's it, man? Fastest lap at the moment is the man himself, it's Moab Musa, and his quickest a 144.660, Louis. So he's pushing as we're now watching Jason, and the BMW of Sheldon Agallis moves over on the long back straight. Very clever and intelligent driving there, and Jason Farmer comes through the bus stop and makes up one more position as he gets along with his race. As you can see, the only driver to have done both pit stops before the hour. So he's going to be pushing a long ways. And I don't know, I think he put new boots on the car. I don't know how long the stop was, but I kind of think he might have put on fresh tackies to try and deal with the drive back. But we'll see how that... you saying he maybe showed his hand a little bit too early there, Dylan?
Yep. Only because it was still within an hour to go.
Yes.
And I wouldn't have expected Jason to have taken the tires. I think he is a smart enough driver to be able to save the tires and not want to waste that 30 seconds, because that 30 seconds is going to be the difference between 3 or 4 places later on in the race.
Definitely. As you see, Dion Fenter.
Agamemnon Bros on the channel, not racing here this evening, but saying good luck to all. Thanks, Mimo. Thanks for coming and joining us.
Thanks, guy. Also looking very stable and secure through that bus stop. While you were away earlier, I'll tell you what, while he was chasing the big Mustang, they were side by side, but sideways coming out of that hairpin, Dylan. The BMW all over the place. And the next lap, he made contact with the Mustang. Nose to tail contact. Both cars got sideways, but they held on to both of them. So very good skill going on right there, and holding on to the car to maintain their track position.
Oh, incredible. So I see Gabrielsen and Agallis into the pits. Wonder whether that's Gabrielsen going to clear that stop-go penalty.
Looks like it.
But then we'll have some more green tags in our pit indicators and get back to that racing. Ruan Haneker is still currently up in 8th place with Gerard Pretorius, Chris Haneker and Mohat Musa, but closing up onto those 3 further up the order there.
Having a look here, it looks like Rana Roberts has got a second win. He's closed right up, but I think he's also realized he's being now pursued quite heavily by Isham Domingo behind him. All of these guys, in fact, your top 7 all still having to pit, but these 3 going hammer and tongs. I think Isham's going to make a move. He looks a little bit more aggressive than Renault just up ahead of them. It's 3 BMWs going flat sticks at each other as they go through that very tricky hairpin and then the climb up the hill. Car gets very light on the exit of this corner. You've got to watch out for running up wide there. You've got a helicam and watch them.
And this would be, in terms of a SARCO terms, this is a 3-way BMW horse.
There we go.
Isham running a very, very wide. I think he's just pushed a little bit too hard there, wanting to come and get himself ahead of Rayner Roberts, understanding that Aidan Russell, fellow stablemate, ahead, but I'm pretty sure that if it does come push to shove, Isham is definitely going to do what he can to get himself ahead of the pink muscle of Russell. I love it.
I do.
Love it.
It's a good one. This is a family-friendly channel, and we try to be as professional as we can. And look at that. Rainer Roberts running super wide through T1, and Isham's on the inside. Rainer's in the marbles, and he's going to just slide away. Isham takes the position, and Rainer slots in right under the wing of that M4. And Aiden getting again a little bit of fresh air between him and the challenging cars. Louis Sefontaine into the pits from 8th or 7th, and he's going to get one of his stops done and dusted.
Alan, I'm
Yes,
just
sir.
seeing here, Louis just asked, do we know what the top qualifying time was? Do you have record of that?
I didn't write anything down, unfortunately. If memory serves me, it was a 144.6 or 144.7, something to that effect.
Okay, so pretty much a full car lap time that we're currently experiencing now.
Yeah, I think, as you know, with the one lap quali, the nerves come into effect. So the guys are trying to be quick, but they obviously need to know they've got to keep the car on the track to make it a valid lap. So, I would have expected if there was a 10-minute quali, we would have seen the 43s probably in quali trim. But if memory serves me correctly, it was a 44 something.
Right, cool. Interesting enough that Isham hasn't really closed up onto the back of Russell, and Renault seems to be stuck there as well. So it's not like that gap is completely closing up.
I'll call you a bluff there. I think he's closed in a little bit, but I think that the aero wash is definitely affecting the guys, and they're just watching their racing lines. Yeah, at the end of the back straight, he should be right up on the back of Hayden's BMW.
Ooh,
I
did you
saw
see
that. I saw
little
that.
snap from Roberts there?
Roberts.
That rear just not stable enough, just not able to get that power where he planted that traction control probably just a little bit lower than those ahead. And yes, you're right, Alan. Isham has definitely closed up, having been in that slipstream.
Yeah. Oh, Aiden's rough. Aiden's rough. Aiden throwing it away.
Ooh,
He's gone
Aiden's
very wide out there.
Roberts to the inside, and that's
Two positions.
two positions in just the one little bump of that chicane.
Aiden, we're going to go look at that quickly. Aiden's been struggling through that section often. This isn't his first time. He runs deep through the first sector. He's carrying too much pace, and he doesn't hug the apex there, which pushes him out onto that bump. And he did well to keep it out of the fence. Let me say that.
Oh, most definitely. It looked like that car just didn't settle itself. As soon as it hit the curb, it understeer gripped,
Yep.
and then try to spit him out towards the wall. But yes, did extremely well to hang on to that. And he's now just coming straight back at Roberts.
So the good dice. This is the closest on the track at the moment, ladies and gents. So we're going to stick with the action and hopefully bring you the best racing. Louis, I agree. One lap qualifiers. It's just and that was a pit entry. Aiden having to back out of it. He did run into the back of Rainer's BMW, but all good and well. I don't think Rainer got into the pit lane over speeding, but I think he's okay. We'll monitor that. So Aiden takes a position back up, and you can see already from that little incident and what's been happening, Isham is up the road by 3 seconds, and he's on his way into third place. Teammate Muad Musa into 10th, and closing in on the back of Hera Pretorius also coming into the pits. But Chris Heineke is going to have to watch. Wow, that was a very late pit entry in the background I saw. That was Gabrielson flying into the pits again. So I think he's going to get his second stop done and dusted now as well.
So Mohat has done really well coming from the back now, up into 9th place with one pit stop done and dusted. We can see the gap between Mohat and Ruan Heineke. It is currently sitting at just over about 14 seconds. Mohat now needing to find a way around the Aston Martin of Chris Heineke. And this race is most definitely on. 38 minutes left to go. We're just about halfway. Still so much racing to come.
So much. And listen, this isn't an easy move to be done here. Chris is definitely not just going to let it go. We don't know how well the Aston setup is and whether he's got a little bit more stuck to the ground. from the setup last week, but he runs a... No, he doesn't. He hugged that inside apex, comes out up the hill and gets a good drive. The Aston looking pretty good here in comparison to last week. Our leader, Sean Loureiro, peels into the pits. So he brings the Mustang in for a pit stop, and that promotes David Farrell up into first place.
And Sean did have about 5 seconds ahead of David. And while you keep watching the gap where Ruan is, where Chris is, Sean is still leading the race because that's where he was earlier on. It's just about understanding what the pace of the guys behind him have been doing. With Sean being able to get away in that clean air, he isn't battling anyone. That is going to make for a very, very interesting racing action.
Look at this.
Side by side. Did you see? I don't know if... There we go. So Mohat looked like he was able to slot the BMW on the inside into turn number 1. Will Chris be able to get the slipstream up the hill and have a lunge into the bus stop? Not the safest place to make an overtake, but if you're able to get the slipstream, get on the inside and just slot the car there, force the car on the outside to slow down, it does make for interesting watching.
Very. Also, being in that car, I think we must just sit on board with one of the guys. Their entry into the bus stop, they are so close to that inside honker, the first right-hander, and they're pretty much going in there very quick to get the ideal racing line, the alien line as it's often known as. But that gets you a straighter exit out of the bus stop, and that's where Aiden's been coming up a little bit short, but still sitting comfortably in third. And David Farrell peels into the pits here. He comes, and just behind him, Isham Domingo peels in as well. So Project Vapor getting their stops done, as is David Farrell. Let's see if Aiden does go through, and he's going to be our new leader. So I think we've had 3 or 4 leaders already here at Watkins Glen this evening. Great racing going on. Louis saying, sorry, carry on. Just Louis saying so many BMs and Fezzes. Well, 4 BMs, but the Fezzes, it's a Fezzer field here. We've got 8 of them, 9 of them here. So still pretty much the best, or the most preferred handling car by a lot of the drivers. The BMW is a great second choice. Chris is happy in the Aston, but we were talking to Muat and Isham last week in the after drivers commentary box, and they've been in these BMWs for terrible news for Isham.
On Domingo, the drive-through. Alan, there's something else I just needed to mention. We were watching Jason Farmer in 10th place. You can see he's got a green tick. Ruan Heineke was ahead of Gerard, so they're pretty much the same. But Jason Farmer has jumped Ruan Heineke and Gerard.
And there are 4 cars in between them. So his pace, being out in the open and getting that pit stop done early, has shown benefits. Ruan, at least Jason, now well up the road. About 4.5 seconds actually, and watching the back of Renault Roberts' BMW. It's now going to get tougher and tougher to make these positions, but it's going to come down to that second pit stop, and that's going to then be the position shuffle that we were talking about. Aiden Russell.
Jason, I was going to say, Jason really has brought this race to himself, and it just looks like all Farmer needs to do is just keep the pace up, monitor those tires, and this strategy where I said that he may have showed his hand a little bit too soon, just looks like currently is the way to have done it.
Good. Antonia Gamble on the YouTube, hi. Thank you for joining us and shouting for Jason Farmer, my boy.
No, that's literally her boy.
I get it. I'm learning, it's all good.
And then she's also showing a little bit of love there for the Griffin boys as well.
Chris Haneke in the pits.
Sean Menny's drive-through. So it now has been cleared for car number 6.
No.
Stop a penalty for speeding in the pits.
Yeah, that's Dion Fenter. But Isham still got his drive-through to field. And that wasn't a pit issue. He must have been running one too many track cuts, as you mentioned earlier. He literally came out the pits. I think he did something wrong with the pit line exit, and he had a DT as he exited T1. So he's going to be fuming. I'm sure there's some colourful language going on in the Project Vapor channel, but he's still pushing like a man possessed because he's going to try and make up as much time as he can. Farrell in the pits. So Moord Musa, your net leader from who knows where. Here we go. He's on it, and
we have another leader.
5 already, I'm sure, but he was idling around in 10th, and now he's leading with all the pit stops happening. So you can see the green boxes there. Those are the guys that have all done their pit stops. A good 9 people still need to do their second stop, and unfortunately Dion Fenter having to do a stop go 30. He probably sped in or maybe shifted to second too early over the pit lane exit, and speeding in the pits, that gives you a stop go 30.
Alan, I'm still not understanding what's going on here. Sean Herrero, who was ahead and away from the rest of the field, is behind Moord Musa on the same pit stop number.
I agree. I don't know either. I don't know, maybe he was stuck behind some traffic or something. I'm not sure what happened. The car looks good. I don't see any damage anywhere. There's no scrapes, although we can't see the other side of the car. But I don't think that would have been Isham in the pits now, getting his DT cleared. So,
I think I know what it is. I think Sean took tyres.
Oh, good thinking, Batman. That's probably right. That's what it is. We were seeing the Mustang looking a little bit loose, so he's probably taken a gamble to put new boots on, and he's going to try and charge with just on 30 minutes to go. So you might have nailed it right there, Dylan.
Because there was no ways, and I say this, there was no ways. I'm sure there would be, but Moord was about 13 seconds behind. He's now 5 seconds ahead. So the only way that could have changed was the fact that there was something else that was done. Tires has to be it, and with 30 minutes left, I'm pretty sure we'll start seeing it in Sean's times.
I agree. Jason, now clearly your net leader at the moment, comfortably in 4th place, all the pit stops done. He's now just got to focus on keeping the car on track. He's got to watch for track cuts. I'd put money on it, he's got 1 or 2 already, so he's going to have to look carefully at where he positions his Ferrari. Moord into the pits. Here we go. So now we're on. There goes Sean Herrero thundering by in the Ford, and Moord's now going to drop down the field. Aiden coming along. What we need to see and watch now is Jason.
Where is Farmer? Most definitely. So Jason is only now going up the hill, which is actually the heel as in the heel of the boot, not the heel as in going up the slope. Sometimes you got to be clear of what you want to mean there.
You got to, man. We've got to make sense.
The second last corner, now into the last corner, turn number 11. Moord has not moved yet. Here comes Jason out the last corner. And will Moord be moving? It does not look like he has yet. Still hasn't moved.
He's rolling now.
Jason Farmer is now your net leader.
Moord Musa out the pits, all done. I don't see any SG30s, so good, clean, professional pit stop happening. And that's currently your position. When the timing screen updates after the first sector, you shall see Jason Farmer 3rd place with Lorera and Russell to... Now I'm going to jump to the Mustang, because if he's trying to hang on to his track position, Sean's going to have to bring this car in very soon. He's got no traffic ahead, and Aiden Russell also, he's got to make a decision where he's going to pit. So like I said, you're not going to know who's going to win this until it's literally the last lap, I think.
And interestingly for me, Ron Heineke is just on about 4 seconds behind Farmer. So still a big drive left from both of those two drivers with 28 minutes left to go. Aiden Russell, 22 seconds is the gap that he has on Jason Farmer, and again, once his pit stop has been done, it's about 36, 37 seconds for a full stop, provided you're taking the fuel. And that should slot him right in between Isham and Mohat.
Yeah, I think so. Isham, unfortunately, not on track position because of the DT he suffered. So he's going to finish a ways back when he completes his next pit stop. But Moat Musa, Hera Pretorius, Farrell, Bianca, etc., they've all done their stops. Chris Heineke has also all completed his stops in the Aston. He didn't do damage repair unless it's a bit of a game glitch. So that car's still running pretty much rapid lap times. His last lap time, he was in the pits last, so he's just come out the pits. So he's just finished. And I think that is Sean Lerero. It is. It's Sean Lerero, your net leader at the moment. Well, your track position lead at the moment. And I'm going to stick with him again because I want to see if he's going to bring it into the pits now. Other Dice is close on track, nothing much at the moment except for Pretorius just behind Moat Musa. But I think that's more driving away. And look at the pressure coming here.
No, that's Donnie Steenkamp. That's a position there for Chris. Donnie Steenkamp is currently in 4th place. He does still need to pit in that Aston, in the Mustang.
But this we're watching is Sean Herrera though.
No, that is...
Yes, Steenkamp's Mustang. This is Sean Herrera ahead of Chris.
What?
Look at the timing at the bottom right-hand corner. This is Sean's car. So,
but it doesn't make sense.
No, I don't know. We'll have to catch up. Here's Danny Steenkamp, and he is just ahead of the SARCO Ferrari of.
Okay, I get it now.
That's right.
We're aligned.
Yeah.
And I suppose that if you do have your pit stop and it is a fairly shortish lap, but just in terms of how it just boggled the brain,
Totally.
It didn't make sense because in terms of the position it should be like that. But okay, Steenkamp in the pits.
There we go.
There he is. So he is not ahead of Chris. That is Sean Herrera.
And Chris has got by while we were faddling on about other people. So Chris going past Sean Herrera.
So Chris has essentially unlapped himself now.
Can it be a whole lap?
Oh,
it's changed again.
It has to be.
No, Chris is on lap 26 right now. Sean on 27. Ooh, that Mustang.
Wow. That was for the cameras. So I have lost the timing sheets, unfortunately. I can't see anything on my side now.
Me too. What is going on there? Let's try a different camera quickly. Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
Sorry about that.
Yes, no problem.
Game's doing funny things. But right. Sean Herrera is still staying out. He's going to leave his stop until lastminute.com. So is Aiden Russell in his BMW.
Just have a look for me on Ruan Heineke's last lap because that gap has dropped to less than 2 seconds, and that Ferrari that we saw going past, that was Farmer. There's Farmer and Ruan Heineke.
Here's Jason Farmer now coming through the final curves. Ruan Heineke's last lap of 44.995. Jason's last lap of 46.3. So he had a rough lap there.
And there's your battle for first and second currently.
Moat Musa still the quickest man on track, just for those that are following. A 144.660 is the benchmark. But a bunch of people, including Sean Herrera, 144.7, Ruan a 144.7, and Isham Domingo 144.9. So good mix and match of lap times going on as we watch again Sean Herrera, because yes, your two commentators at the SARCO booth are completely flustered, but we'll work it out with 23 minutes to go. Herrera, Russell and Isham Domingo yet to do their final pit stops, and I'm going to go on board now and just see if he peels in. Listen to that engine. Oh.
I see that Ruan Heineke has taken another 0.6 out of Jason.
Yep, gap now 1.2 seconds. Here's the Mustang, and here comes, no, then that is not a pit stop.
that was the fate.
Ruan Heineke, as you said, pushing like a man, and here they are. Jason Farmer just up ahead in the blue and silver and black car with Ruan Heineke here in the SARCO livery car. And this gap now 1.1. Ruan closing in, no question. Dylan, this is going to be a flat-out sprint dice to the end with 22 minutes going.
Mohat's 10 seconds off this gap with the 20 minutes left to go. Will he be able to close it, provided he is doing half a second quicker for the next 10 laps? Will be the only way he is going to be closing up that gap.
Exactly. Antonio saying, Jason and Ruan, hope Jay's pit strategy pays off. Well, he's right here. I mean, he's in the points as it stands, and Sean Lerera and Russell yet to pit. We'll work out what the gaps are and we'll see where they come out. But I think personally Jason is your net race leader at the moment.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And Ruan right there and just waiting for Jason to make a mistake. Nice lines through that bus stop, missing the second apex, at least the bump on the second apex, and great exit speed. That gap now, it's 0.6, so he's half the gap from a lap ago. Ruan Heineke definitely a quick man. Last lap, a 1:44.890. Jason, a 1:45.6. Jason struggling. The tyres, we spoke about this, Dylan.
Yeah, do me a favor, please just check what Mohat's last lap is, because that thing looks like it's dropped an entire second.
44.5 for Mohat Musa's last lap. So he is pushing 3/10 quicker than the man ahead of him. And that gap now 8.5 seconds. But Ruan closing in every sector. So I think Jason is now struggling, and he runs wide. Jason is sent it far too far. He missed the braking point. And Aiden Russell into the pits just ahead. We'll go and look at Jason here as they come out of the hairpin. Jason in position, and we're going to go to the helican. I think his grip's gone. I think you're right. He possibly didn't change tires, and he is now suffering the consequences, Dylan.
Look, I think it was a good. He had to try something.
I mean, it almost looked like he stayed out there on purpose, but I think he was on the marbles.
Quite possibly, unless Jason just knew that Ruan was coming up a lot quicker, wasn't really able to fight him, and rather said, well, look, you might as well go. Otherwise, we're going to be battling, and we're going to let Mohat close up onto the back of us.
Definitely. Sean Lerera, he's now still got a pit as he comes out the boot. That was the other Mustang of Donnie Steenkamp.
So that means Donnie Steenkamp came out. Oh no, that might have been Brandon DeSantos.
That's wrong car. Brandon DeSantos, you're right. Let's not get mixed up. Right, Mohat Musa net fourth right now and 7 seconds behind. Jason Farmer, he's struggling. I think we'll see Mohat catching him shortly. Sean Lerera still got to come in, and he carries on for another lap. I'm just keeping an eye on him and his pit stop. Isham also still to do his pit stop, and he has Gerard Pretorius all over the back of him. Isham having to run defensive as they come out of the boot sector, and Isham probably kicking himself because of the unfortunate drive-through he picked up.
Oh yeah, he is still going to have a stop. So it's, and at this point, it's whatever is on the car, put as little fuel in as possible.
Oof.
Just do the pit stop, get in and out, and just try and recover some of the positions there.
Gerard Pretorius all over the back of him like a bad rash, and probably going to be a send coming down to T1 now. He's staying out. Does he come down the inside? He's looking. He doesn't. He stays behind the BM. Carries a lot of pace through there. Isham just doing the best he can, but the Ferrari looks the quicker car right now.
Definitely looking the more comfortable of the two, without a doubt. And it's actually quite interesting, as I did the previous race racing, or sorry, what was the last endurance we did? The last endurance race we did.
Yeah. Bathurst.
No, at Kalomi. Oh, it was the race face 570.
Okay.
Is I raced with Gerard, and myself and him kind of had a little strategy when you start talking to say, put the guy on the inside, just move to the inside, have a show, break later, but don't hit him. You start look like you're getting desperate. Meanwhile, you're actually strategically driving badly to make the driver ahead of you uncomfortable.
Pretorius running deep into the hip and managed to keep it on track, but has lost a bit of track position.
It wasn't Kalami.
No,
it was the Bathurst race.
Yeah.
Apologies.
Right. FYI, Ruan Heineke last lap of 45.3, Jason Farmer 45.8. He's half a second off this man's pace, so I think Jason Farmer played his hand too early. I think you nailed it. You hit the jackpot, and he is now suffering with 17 minutes to go. I think Moat will be on him very shortly.
And we saw Mohat coming out of the last corner as both Jason and Rene crossed the start-finish line. The purple BMW is on a charge.
4.5 seconds back. It was 8 seconds about 2 laps ago, so that goes to show. His last lap of 44.3 for Moat Musa. His quickest of 44.2, so he is going mental right now. Flashing away, and the Mercedes nicely gets out the way. Are they going to slow? They are. And Nkulu just takes his racing line. Oh, and he runs wide. Oh, my word. Nkulu's lost that Mercedes, and he's spun it out. Let's have a look at that happen again.
I think there was contact between the Ferrari. Oh, Sherbert.
He was just too wide. He didn't turn in, and he hit the marbles, and he was out.
Apologies. It looked like the Ferrari had decided to go through the rust stop with him. So apologies.
Right.
That just looked like the rear just didn't like what Nkulu was asking for.
That gap 36.6 between Lerero back to Ruan Heineke. The pit stop you say is 25 seconds plus the stop.
It's about 35 seconds in total with a splash and dash.
They're going to be side by side when this pit stop happens. I can tell you that now. Sean Lerero is your net second place once that pit stop's done. Jason cannot maintain. The gap's falling back 2.7 seconds. Moat now 3.4 off the back of Jason. We're going to go back here. The BMW is just coming. Jason can see him coming. There is sweet nothing he can do right now. There it is. Jason up the road over the line.
First, second, and third with 15 minutes left to go. Jason, this is what I love about these races. After all these pit stops, it generally comes down to the last lap anyway.
Jason's last lap into the 46.2s. Moat Musa 44.7. He's 1.3 seconds a lap quicker. Jason is struggling. He is crying in that Ferrari.
How is Mohat's laps comparing to Ruan's?
44.7 and Ruan doing a 45.6 on his last lap. So aiming possibly for second place, but I think Ruan's got enough in the tank here. The SARCO car looking great. Jason unfortunately bleeding from every orifice, but Moat's coming. It's 2.6 seconds. We're going to watch Moat as we wait for the big Ford to pit from Sean Lerero. He is going to leave at lastminute.com. He's going to hope that these guys get involved in a tussle, and he's got enough time to get in and get out and be somewhere there in the top 3.
And just looking at where Sean is, so Sean's now going into T1, and we kind of picked up the action when we're looking for Jason Farmer. Jason Farmer was coming on the straight between the toe and the hill.
Yes. Up the hill.
Driver coming out of the pit was in the pit, and Jason came out ahead. So provided the driver is coming around the toe, there might be enough time for Sean Lerero to actually come out ahead there.
They're going to be side by side. It's going to be as close as you can get it. Moat Musa last lap. A 144.4, Jason Farmer 145.9, Ruan Heineke 145.1. I think Ruan's got enough on Moat Musa, to be honest. It's all about Sean Lerero's pit stop now. Isham's out of the picture with his last stop to go. This is going to be as close as you can get. We're at 13 minutes to go. Pretty much 7 laps. I can't. I'm not putting any money down tonight. I'm sorry. You can take a shot at it. I have no clue right now.
And this is the thing, is that we know that anything can still happen. There could still be a touch, a tap.
They could.
A little clip of the curb.
I'm a gambling man, Dylan. I'm good to put money down on things, but I can't tell you what's going on right now. As we watch the Mustang come around the last turn, this doesn't look like a pit stop. He is literally going to do it on the last lap, I think. Ron Haneke, yeah, he comes.
34 seconds. It is extremely close.
Ron Haneke's last lap, a 1:45.1. What? A 1:44.4, 6/10 quicker. Jason Farmer struggling.
And Mohat is all over the back of the Ferrari. That all Jason Farmer can see in that rearview mirror is purple BMW.
Exactly.
Into the last corner, touching that inside curb, letting the car run out, little dab on the brakes, get the car turned in onto the curb, accelerating nice and early, and it just looks like Jason is struggling for grip. The car's not really turning in. You can just see how much grip Mohat had on that exit.
Yeah.
Just having a little show, letting Jason Farmer know the BMW has come to play as Jason goes up through the S's.
Oh, no, look at that.
He's going to try and go around the outside. But this is where Mohat now is. Is he going to be able to take the wider outside line? He's going to have a better entry.
Oh, this is going to be tears. Oh.
And Jason backs off.
Wow.
That is not something that should happen.
No.
Yet, there we see it. It happened. I think that neither one of them wanted to back up, but they want to say, okay, I'm happy to commit. But when I commit, I'm going to commit with enough space there.
Exactly. Great respect being shown. Jason, he did slow a little bit more because he was on the inside. It was far too sharp for him to take his normal speed, but it's done and dusted. Moed Musa takes the position. Come on, Mr. Lorero. And he goes past the pits again with 10 minutes to go. It's going to be literally in the last 2 or 3 laps. Hope you guys at home are enjoying this. Great racing here at Watkins Glen. And brought to you primarily by NAG, Game On, Geek Out, and MSI, the people that bring you great hardware.
Let's just jump to a P9. We've got a Farrell and Russell battle developing there. I see that Russell has been able to just close up the gap ever so slightly, just picking away at those times. And now within that second, hoping to get himself further up, knowing that Russell was fighting up in that 5th place earlier on in this race, but it just seems like that overall pace of the guys up at the top have it just been a little bit too much for Russell and his pink muscle.
They had a great race earlier on in the race, running very wide. As the McLaren is running super wide, that's Gabrielson taking strain. Manages to stay out of the way of these two, and over the line they go. Aiden Russell a 1:46.2 on that last lap, so not at the pace, as you said, of the guys up ahead. Musa still able to do last lap a 1:45.5, run a 1:45.0. We're going to just jump back to Moed, and alright, he's still a ways away. 4.6 seconds with just on 9 minutes to go. Jason Farmer just trying to hold on to whatever he's got left in that Ferrari, and he's slowly but surely dropping down the charts.
Just jump to 17 for me. There seems to be a bit of AMG and Mustang action happening. Brandon DeSantos was trying to go around the outside of Nkulo, and it looked like
here we go.
Nkulo was able to. Oh no, this was
this is replay.
Yeah, this is Brandon DeSantos trying to go around the outside. On the brakes, little touch, and Brandon needing to take the little exit road. That explains why he landed up behind the Ferrari.
That wasn't bad, actually. Quick way to save the car, save your track time, and go straight through, weave through the barriers at least. But there he is, right back on the back of Nkulu's Mercedes, and Cool, obviously running as defensive as he can. This is for position and a little bit of a how's your mother, and he's managed to get by right there.
I'm actually very surprised. I didn't even know there was a gap there at Watkins Glen. I've always gone and just closed my eyes when you hit that barrier and you don't go anywhere.
Yeah, you got to... That happens when you hit it nose on, Dylan. You got to negotiate the left, right, left, and you can get through there, man.
Didn't even know that. After the 3 years of playing this game, did not know there was a gap at Watkins Glen, because generally you're trying to aim for the corner.
Exactly.
And you get a little touch on someone and you go straight on and you hit that thing at 190 kilometers an hour, whatever that entry speed is.
Immediate stop. Right. Run. Hanging on. He's doing well. He has 7 minutes and some to go. There is Moat in third place. That gap 4.2 seconds.
And they've also taken off 3 seconds from Sean Lerero. So it looks like Sean might be under a little bit of pressure in terms of some of his lap times that he's doing, because he did have about 34 seconds in the bag there. It's now dropped to 31 seconds.
He nailed it. His last lap of 46.3, Dylan. He's struggling as well now. All on his own.
With just over 6.5 minutes left to go. And I'm sure Mohat is looking at the back of that SARCO Ferrari, trying to get that head down, trying to close up that gap.
Heineke, last lap of 45.2. Moat Musa, 44.8. He's 7/10 quicker. He is eating into this gap. The gap now, 4.2 seconds with 6 minutes to go. It's pretty much
4 laps.
4 laps. I don't know if he's got enough time.
He has to take out a second a lap for him to just catch up, let alone overtake. Catching is one thing, overtaking is another.
Totally. As they say in the classics. But the BMW is still capable of doing solid 44s. The Ferrari is dropping off now. Sean Lerero dropping off completely into the 46s. He has driven well over an hour on the same set of tires. So he's relying on his track position in the gap, and I don't think it's going to be enough.
Is where Sean, is he going to be ahead of Farmer or will he be under Farmer? Because now that's
here we go.
Okay, here we go. This is what we're going to see. So looking at where Mohat is, so that is car number 2. No, I think they've got him.
I do too. Depends on how long the stop is. I don't think Sean's going to put tires on, so
as long as he's got a splash and dash, a little put in the 2 liters, get that car stopped, goes up 2 liters down, and off he goes. So Ruan now out of the last corner. Is Sean moving yet?
Not yet. He's down, he's rolling. Ruan's going past him. There he goes. Ruan, your net leader. Moat Musa.
Where is Farmer?
Jason Farmer.
Oh, it's going to be close. Sean's going to be exiting the pit now, so now he's going to be up to pace.
There's Jason round the outside on the racing line, but he doesn't have tires. I think these two are going to be a good tires for third place because they're both struggling for grip.
I do believe in a world where grip is a problem, the Mustang that has the more power option is going to be able to put in more of an effort than the Ferrari that's struggling with grip.
Watching where Jason brakes in comparison to the Mustang, and look how he closes the gap so quickly. So Sean fighting now. Jason trying to hang on to a podium, third place. 3 minutes, just under 4 minutes to go. I don't know what to say. I think the Mustang will get him.
2 laps plus this one.
Well, when you put it like that, I mean, really. Let's put 100 on red and see what happens.
Double or nothing. Listen, you pick the one, I'll pick the other.
Yeah. Either way, it's going to be a 50-50.
Either way, one of us are right.
Mm-hmm. So
it will be quite interesting to see at the end. I see Louis Serpentine is also putting pressure on Agallis again. That time has...
and as we do that, it's the big L camera. He couldn't stop the car there, and
That hit Ruan.
Let's go back and watch that happen.
That was Ruan. The race leader collected that.
Up ahead, you'll see the car get a little bit squirrely as they come out of the second last turn. There the donut begins. Ruan's going which way? Left, right, left. He goes left. The Ferrari rolls and there's a bit of a bump happening. Oh, wow.
And Louis did everything right. He jumped onto the brakes. And there goes Mohat going into first place, taking that lead away from Ruan.
Wow. Wow. Last 2 minutes and that happens. As you said, a little tap, a bad curb, and that's what happens. Let's give credit to Moat, though.
Most definitely. He's done the drive that we were expecting to have seen him do last week. From last to first, he has done it now in the 75 minutes race with Isham Domingo now coming out in 8th place currently. There is Chris Heineke currently in 11th. So Isham now, it looks like Isham, once he crosses the sector, that should put Isham in 10th, because it does look like Donnie Steenkamp. There is Donnie Steenkamp is just ahead.
Chris pushing in the battered up Lucy Goosey Aston. He's driven the car like this. I don't know if he did a repair job or not, because sometimes this game does glitch and doesn't show the repair happening. But Chris last lap of 45 seconds.
Leaders on final lap now.
Isham
So,
up the pits, yeah.
I was going to say the leaders have crossed the start-finish line. This is going to be the final lap. And Ruan Heineke in the SARCO car right behind Mohamed Musa, 0.6 of a second. And it's just soul-destroying how quickly that could happen. And it was either a left or right decision. The Ferrari did everything right. Went wide, lost it, jumped on the brakes to try and stop the car. And unfortunately, Ruan chose the wrong way, connected the car, and it allowed Mohat a easy overtake in the end there.
Indeed. I thought we were still debating this, but the gap staying static at 3 seconds, so Sean cannot close up on Jason Farmer. But here we go. We're going to watch the lead as he comes out of the boot sector. He's coming up the hill, and Ruan Heineke can just see that first place driving away from him. Some traffic here. Could this maybe play into Ruan Heineke's hands? I don't know. I don't think so.
Not with 2 corners left. Mohat can just about stay behind the BMW ahead of him, Albergalis. And it's unfortunately all she wrote there for Ruan. Mohamed Musa takes round number 2 here at Watkins Glen.
You can hear a fat lady singing somewhere. Andre goes racing on YouTube saying R.I.P. Ruan. That was really bad luck. Mohamed Musa takes the win. Ruan Heineke over the line for second, and Jason Farmer ecstatic with that drive, and he comes over for third. Sean Larera in the big Mustang brings it home for fourth. Behind him it's Gerard Pretorius still coming, and he'll take a solid 5th place. Ulrich de Jager, his teammate, through the final turn for Griffin Sim Racing 3. Ulrich de Jager coming in for a solid 6th. David Farrell through the final curve, and he's going to take 7th. Aidan Russell in the say it
in Russell, the pink muscle.
He takes a good 7th. Here comes Donnie Steenkamp in his Mustang, also a nice clean drive up into 8th place. Isham with his pit stop out the way, that dropped him down. And Chris all over the back of Isham, trying to hold on to that and go around on the barriers, and he just doesn't get there. Isham holds on to 9th, Chris rounding out to top 10, and Reno Roberts, he brings his BM up and over the line, and I'm not going to say it's 10th, I'd say this was 11th, because I think some people have left already. Sheldon O'Gullis, probably 12th. Yeah, people have left, so we're going to be a little bit out. You're going to try and get some drivers in for a chat, and we'll hear what the strats were and who did what in a few seconds. So bear with us while we get some people in here for a driver's briefing. That's all she wrote, folks. Moed Musa from Ruan Heineke, from Jason Farmer, your top three. Sean Lerero, who led for most of this race in the big Mustang, bringing it home in fourth, and Gerard Pretorius. That was an awesome race. I didn't know who was going to be where. We're going to shut down, and we're going to be online for some interviews.
As we see the guys starting to join us. Stop the share so that we can have our special little display showing in the Discord for the live chat.
Will do. Stop that. Just got to get these cameras back on. Which I can't seem to find right now. Where are our cameras, Dylan?
It should be live chat in Discord.
Oh, sorry, I'm still in our messaging. Going down there now. I can't get that on the stream, I'm afraid.
Okay, no worries. At least we know that the drivers. Jason Farmer, a third place there for you in the Ferrari. Quite interestingly enough, is that your pit stop very, very early. Was that just because you felt that you were going to get stuck in some traffic and needed some clean air?
Yeah, definitely. What's up, guys, by the way? Fantastic to finally be here. It's been a while.
Welcome.
Yeah, the strat was I pretty much just took a lot of fuel in the beginning and just wanted to find clean air. So pitted quite early, did the splash and dash, and then came up behind Gerard. And yeah, so I thought to myself, okay, well, I'll do a couple laps behind him. I don't want to kind of ruin his race and his strats and everything like that. So I then pit again, filled the car back to 120, and then just went from there. I think it was an hour 7 or hour 10, somewhere around there. Yeah, and it went well. Tried to stay out of trouble, just clean air. Got held up a little bit, but nothing too serious. But yeah. But
And
Mohas coming from the back was just ridiculous. Like his pace was mad.
most definitely. With you coming out of the I must say, coming through the first corner and seeing Shauna River just pop out behind you, was that a moment of oh, coconuts? Is that now? I thought my race was done, but now I've actually got some more work to do.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Sean's definitely a quick oak, and in a Mustang down that straight is ridiculous. But yeah, no, he was struggling a bit with tires, so was I. So I kind of thought if I can just pull a little gap from him, then I know I should be safe. And yeah, once I pull just a touch from him, then I can just maintain that gap, keep it clean, and run to the end. Yeah.
No, absolutely awesome. I did doubt your strategy in the beginning. Apologies. But it did work. I did feel that you had showed your play too early.
Too early,
well done. It definitely got you onto the podium. Well done.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Ruan, let's go to you. I'm pretty sure a little bit of heart sore there. The entire race comes down to a left or right decision, and it looks like either way it would have been the wrong decision.
Yes, that's very unfortunate. I was shouting in the chat. All the brakes unfortunately rolled back.
Oh, shame, man.
Yeah, because we knew Muad was coming at a rapid pace. No, I just couldn't hold him off, unfortunately. but still a great race. Super powerful drive from Muat. And I also want to thank Jason for actually letting me pass, not fighting me, so we can actually try and keep Musa behind us.
You were bleeding times in after that second pit stop. You were really struggling with the tires hammered.
Actually, no, I had put new tires on, but I got stuck a bit in traffic, made a few mistakes here and there. I think the pressure got to me. We know what is coming. Can't see him on the timer because everybody's hasn't pitted yet. So yeah, we almost knew he was somewhere there behind us. We just don't know how far.
Yeah. Well, it was a great race. It was very entertaining. We were throwing money at each other. We didn't know what was going to happen in the booth here.
And
Yeah,
all I said, Ren, I
race.
promise you this wasn't aimed at you. I said anything can happen. We don't know. It could be a curb, it could be a slip, it could be anything. So I'm sorry that is what
He did
I
it.
manifested.
He did it. I'm sorry. It's called Commentator's Curse. It's me and a camera, Dylan with his microphone, and that was that. Next lap, that's what happened right in front of you. Wow. That's all I can say. Such bad luck, but great drive there.
So I'll be expecting my bin
And
mail.
let's go to you, Mohat. A win from you, and you can hear just the congratulations in terms of a sterling drive. I think we're at the point now where you're just not going to qualify anymore.
Yeah.
Or do you expect to eventually get one right?
No, you know what? I'll give you guys another one when it's 75 minutes because yeah, Ruan had that in the bag. I'm just gonna put it out there. Ruan definitely had that in the bag. I was crying on his behalf when I saw what happened.
Oh, sure,
Unfortunately, but yeah, I would say the decision that him and Jason actually made, that actually blew it out of the water because I was hoping they were going to fight. But the moment
Yep.
I saw immediately switch, I was like, okay, I see what's happening now going on. I tried my best, but I got very, very lucky. It's like I said, that was just very, very, very unfortunate on Ruan's part. He drove a phenomenal race. His strategy was on point. I should have also did that quick stop at the start because yeah, the start kind of killed the race for me. Especially being stuck behind that Mustang.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a sweaty race. Definitely gave it a shot. And yeah, I held my end of the bargain, Alan.
You
And I
did.
won that picks.
I wasn't sure if you heard me in driver's briefing. It was a tongue-in-cheek comment, and you actually took it seriously, as did Isham. I got to ask you just a quick one before Dylan asks you some more questions. What was the language like in the Project Vapor team when Isham got the DT?
It was a bit rough, but to be honest, we all kept our heads. Isham definitely kept his head, and he was like, "Ah, no, you know what? I'm just going to do another 1 liter. I'm not even going to bother about tires." And it actually paid off for him. So well done to that as well. But yeah, it's just unfortunate. It's these pit limiters, man. That's why I always keep mine on manual as well. So
Yep.
yeah, we live and we learn, I guess.
No, absolutely awesome, guys. Amazing race. Very unpredictable. I would not have put my money on anybody this evening. It really, really made for great, entertaining racing. So thank you very much.
Yeah, well
a big
done,
thank
guys.
you once again to Alan being the commander-in-chief of SARCO here this evening, who will be commander-in-chief next week as well. Because who knows what can happen. Anything can happen. A big thank you to NAG in terms of our sponsors, as well as VA Auto, Assault Tech Tuning, MSR, the guys that keep our stream up and running, and our new server suppliers, ASL Solutions. Thank you very much, guys. Guys, looking forward to seeing you all next week. We go back to the sprint racing, more qualifying, more one-lappers, and really looking forward to seeing that. Guys, thank you very much. Alan, if there's anything else from you?
I'm also good. Thanks very much. Good racing, guys. Good, respectful, clean racing. You guys put on an awesome show. It's great to see this kind of quality racing happening here at SARCO, and I'm glad to be part of it. So well done, boys.
Thanks, Alan. Thanks, Dylan.
Thank you very much, guys. We'll
Okay.
see you next week.
And Dylan, I'll be
Cheers.
expecting that knickknacks for commentator's curse.
And that pillow to cry your sorrows.
Cheers,
Cool.
guys.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.
Cheers.